Hopefully we
Thanks,
don't
Adam.
suck.
Oh, we never suck.
I always do,
Please.
you know.
We are amazing.
I mean,
Thanks,
I have
Adam.
carried this show for 4 seasons. Yeah, welcome back for Dragoncast Vassals of Kingsgrave, Season 8, pre-show, extravaganza, maybe not that extravagant, I don't know. It's been a while since we've had new Game of Thrones to talk about, and we're a little less than a week away from the Season 8 premiere, the final season. My name is Adam, also known as drownedsnow on the podcast of Ice and Fire forums, and today I'm joined by a variety of vassals, including 2 Matts. Matt Varley, you there?
Yeah, Matt and real life Varley on the forums.
Nice. And Matt too.
Hey, Blue Armor on the forums.
Casey's here as well.
This is Casey, Blue-Eyed Queen on the forums.
And last but not least, Michal.
Thanks. Inkasrain on the forums.
That's for your comment earlier. So, all right. So let's just dive in real quick with a recap of where we are on the show versus the books, because they're in 2 very different places. I just rewatched season 7 over the past week, and pretty much my feelings are all about the same. I had forgotten a number of things, like the whole stupid Arya and Sansa plot, which is still stupid, and I'm just going to pretend didn't happen. But they go north of the wall, and they prove that
For some reason, everyone says it's stupid, and then they cry about losing the dragons, and you should have died. And everyone's sorry about everything because the whole plan was stupid. But it's fine. I mean, it's still a really good, 30 minutes of action, and it's really crazy that they were able to put that together. And then they bring Cersei the white, and she's like, "Oh, I'll totally join you. Oh, I'm just kidding. My fingers are crossed." And you're like, oh, "Not this again." Littlefinger dies. Several other people die, and we have a few kind of stupid plots. Bran has no emotions. If you're listening to us, you pretty much know where the show's at, and we'll probably just kind of hit on a few things to remind you of stuff you've forgotten. But basically, the wall is just coming down because the ice dragon. They're calling it an ice dragon, but it still seems like fire to me. Undead Viserion with his leathery wings, and Tormund's totally alive. I'm calling it now. So that's where we're at. Is we're finally getting to the thing they showed us in like the very first scene. It's happening. So I forgot Grey Worm had sex.
Well, that was not, yeah, it is known.
That was sweet. I won't hear anything against it.
How do you figure that worked? Do you think it was like GG rubbing, like apes do?
Oh my
I
God.
think they enjoyed the pleasure of each other's company. I don't have anything against it. It just
Yes.
wasn't like a huge stroke of the season. You know what I'm saying? So,
No, but it was a big character moment for them.
It was good. It was a good moment for the show, for what they've done with those characters. We also had to tell Cersei that it was her with Olenna.
John banged his aunt. That's big.
Well, yes, he did. Yes, he did. There's lots of John ass on the screen last season. I'm sure we'll see more of it. From the previews we've seen, it looks like he's probably going to be getting on one of them dragons soon. So,
You think?
Again.
That's what the internet is saying, but I don't believe him.
what? Well, I mean, if he's a Targaryen, they already
One
kinda
would
like him.
assume.
He already mounted one dragon. Am I right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there needs to be another dragon rider. He's clearly the obvious choice.
The dragon has 2 heads. It's a very commonly said thing, right?
Yeah.
The dragon has 2 heads. Everyone knows that.
Casey, nice post.
God.
You're welcome.
I've seen that, and I saw What was the one with like the Illuminati where they did?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They
Oh,
had
goodness.
to have CGI'd his butt.
Oh,
to
they absolutely did.
made it that like kind of a curve.
Or he has implants.
Are you telling me Kit Harington didn't spend all that time in the gym?
Oh, I'm sure he did, but perfectly symmetrical ass, I don't think that's attainable.
You know what? Why don't we, as an aside here, actually, there's something interesting that came out over the last couple of weeks about these two actors. Actually, is one. I mean, Kit Harington. Supposedly, he had like stress disorder or something from like trying to keep the quote unquote secret that he was still going to be on the show after they killed him, because he wasn't allowed to like talk about it in public. I can imagine that would suck. But Amelia Clark had like all these surgeries and like brain hemorrhages and all this shit going on throughout the show that like you just didn't really know about. And it wasn't. I think she wrote an article kind of sharing all this a few weeks ago, which was interesting.
Yeah,
But-
she's also starting up a stroke foundation, which I heard about on the interview at CBS this past weekend. And yeah, I mean, they're pretty debilitating. We're pretty lucky that we had her after season 1, and then even more after the second one.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible what she's gone through. I mean, all through the season, and not being able to share it either. On top of that, so that's pretty incredible.
So can we forgive the "Where Are My Dragons"?
I mean, it's not her fault.
Yeah, she didn't do that one.
I always
knows
thought
where
she's
they
a
are.
pretty good actress. I think that they give her a lot of one-note things to do. So she comes across as very one-note, but they do that for a lot of people, especially the female characters.
Right.
Like,
Not
But I
Roz.
always loved her on the show. I thought she was working what they gave her on the show.
Yeah.
In other movies, I've seen her where she's not been as good, or in some movies where she's been better. But on the show, I've always really liked what she's done.
I liked her in Solo.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really good in that.
That was kind of because I actually wasn't quite convinced that she was that great an actress, but I think that movie solidified it for me.
Look, half of being Daenerys is having like the platinum hair, I think, right?
Yeah.
So
The violet eyes.
Oh,
I mean,
wait.
blue
Right.
eyes.
No, I mean the actors and actresses I bet go through a lot with like, how many secrets they have to keep and how big the shows become, like compared to what they thought it would become. I remember reading an article, I think it was a couple of years back, about how they had to like reshoot the pilot, and HBO didn't think that this was going to be that big of a deal. Like it might last 1 or 2 seasons, and
The ratings were initially not that great, as I recall.
And I mean, most of the actors that are involved in the show now literally like went through puberty. We saw them kind of grow up within the show, and that's got to be a mind fuck in real life, being part of like the biggest thing ever when you're just trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Joffrey got out early. Good for him.
Well, he got out, and then he got out of acting completely.
Yeah, he was just
Yeah.
like, I'm done with acting.
Done.
Thank you very much.
kind of a shame
I'm
because
going
he's
to
a really
go
good
to
actor.
college. But
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
there are a lot of actors that do that, take a break and come back. So it's possible that like he might decide he wants to act in 10 years. Who knows? But I
He'll
mean,
be
like
the
Sean Bean
nicest-
probably got the best deal, right? Like one
Oh, yeah.
season.
Yeah.
And same thing with Jason Momoa is like they still show up to all the Game of Thrones parties, but they're like one season, bro.
Yeah.
But I think that I would love to see.
Anywhere he wanted to go.
Has the original pilot ever been released anywhere?
No.
It is
No.
very
It's not-
under wraps.
It hasn't been on like the any of the special features that I've seen.
No,
so.
and you know how because geeks like us just want to see George R.R. Martin as a Pentoshi merchant, which he played in the original pilot. But there is like zero footage of that, and all we have as evidence of him being like on his blog, like, yeah, I had a great big hat.
It's like Peter Jackson on the ship.
Yeah,
in,
right.
Return of the King. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it was really bad, the initial pilot.
I
because
would
they
I would
got
love to
off
see it.
sugar-
And
I want to see it.
yeah, it did sound like it was really terrible. And I don't
I
know,
heard.
because there was maybe HBO didn't expect it, but as the series was coming out, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, a month before it came out, there was just so much buzz about it. And then like probably maybe 4 or 5 episodes in, it seemed like everybody was talking about it.
Yeah. Well, we
So-
also just had a new book released, which
Right.
was the last book.
The book
That was
yeah,
released.
Dance came out like in the middle of the season or something. or at the end of the season.
I
or
mean,
Yeah,
whatever
it
it
was
was.
at the end, I think.
It was
Yeah.
summer. It was summertime. It was after college had gotten out.
Okay.
As this was the original Danny.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
it was,
what's
it
her
was the
name,
girl
right?
from the Tudors. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was wife number 5, Tamsin Merchant. I want to say.
Merchant, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, she wasn't that great of an actress on the Tudors. Like, I mean, she was switched out just because
I mean, she kind of looks simple.
she wasn't. Well, no, that's
I mean, she made a good Catherine.
Jeez, Varley.
Howard because
inaccurate.
Just saying, man.
I could see why they would cast her. She has that
Right,
like
she looks the part,
ethereal, yeah.
but she doesn't. I don't think she has the nuance as an actress to pull off both sides.
She's
of
golden
the
hair.
But it is very interesting if you look at her and then you look at Emilia Clarke because they're just very different, like even like body
Yeah, very
shape
different.
wise. And Emilia's
She looks more like a
brunette.
Lannister cousin there. Yeah.
Yeah, like an inbred Lannister cousin.
Yeah, it's like just take a brunette and put a platinum wig on them. It's better.
Um,
Man, this poor girl just got called simple and inbred on the same podcast.
Okay, well, that particular picture, she has a very vacant look in her eyes.
Yes, thank you.
right. Yeah, I assume that's from the Tudors, probably.
Yeah, I
And that was kind of like, yeah.
The
that was
only scene I really remember from her in the Tudors is like when,
the
and
naked scene in like the.
yes, he's like lying on her ass as a pillow, and it's like, all right.
Oh, yeah, like the first shot of her, she's like in like some like
Should I
silk
watch this show?
hammock or something.
You should
Yeah,
watch
there's a
the
lot of movies.
execution scenes on YouTube. They're quite harrowing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you
That's
should
what
watch the first 2 seasons with Marjorie.
Yeah, Natalie Dormer.
with Natalie
Yeah.
Dormer. She's
Oh,
great
you know what? I did
as
watch
Anne
the
Boleyn.
first season of the show. I did when it was on
Yeah.
Netflix.
You even
And
have
Reese
Henry.
something.
Yeah, you have
He's a comedian. What's the guy's name? Jonathan Reese?
Yeah, Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
Okay.
It's funny looking at some of these shows, even from just like maybe 10 years ago or less, and you see like some of the cast, and you're like, all those people were in one show, like they weren't anybody at the time. Which is cool.
Yeah, the Tudors is basically warm up for Game of Thrones. Like there's so many people that are in that
yeah,
show.
it really is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
think-
was Rome, right? Like,
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of
Oh, yeah,
shows
Rome for
like
sure.
that around the same time, though, right? Tudors and there was a couple like smaller ones that were all like period pieces like that I think showed that people like
Yeah, it was mainly Rome. I mean,
court
Borges,
drama.
Yeah, Borges came later.
Rome
Yeah.
was good. Rome,
Right, yeah, the first season
expensive.
of Rome is
I
right.
just
Yeah, so-
rewatched Rome and it holds up. I like it.
yeah, first season is
Yeah.
an almost
I would-
perfect season of television.
I would hope it always holds up considering the setting, But if they did it right, it should hold up for a long time.
well, I think the guy who plays Mance was the guy who played Antony, right? And
No,
Yeah.
like Caesar.
he was
Caesar, yeah, he
okay,
was
but he
Julius,
was
yeah,
really pissed off at Game of Thrones. Apparently, like he still had a grudge about the show because apparently they transferred all their money from Rome to Game of Thrones, and because they were making
Was
Rome,
it?
I think, in partnership with the BBC or something like that. It was a scary expensive show, and HBO wasn't paying for all of it. But when they canceled it, I guess that was maybe part of the idea.
I thought Rome was canceled long before they started
Yes.
making Game of
Yeah,
Thrones, but I don't
thought
know.
so too.
Yeah, so
timeline.
did
Rome, HBO.
HBO had done like Band of Brothers and Deadwood and Rome, and they put a lot of money in these shows, and then like they kind of canceled them all because they were like, "Oh, we don't think this is paying off well."
Well,
And
no,
then I think-
Deadwood they did because of bullshit, but now we're getting a movie in a month, and
Right.
I'm all happy again.
But I think they've been bleeding subscribers, going into 2011 or whatever it was when Game of Thrones came out, and so they kind of realized that they needed to go back to like the big epic, like you can only find this on HBO type
Right.
stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, they had such a subscriber boom with The Sopranos that kind of set the stage. Like, if Game of Thrones flopped, I don't know if HBO would be the company it is now, or really if even like Netflix and all these other subscription kind of things would be making television shows as epically as they want
Like
to.
Amazon's doing Lord of the Rings.
for $1 billion. Like
It's
that's
ridiculous.
That's absurd. But lucky for us, we're all. Michal, go into your hood.
So
What?
Go into your hood and type.
Oh, sorry. Oh my god.
put on your podcasting hood, please. Now we've
Well, I'm not
bought
sure
these
when-
mobile podcasting tents for all the vessels.
And you get a 10. And you get a 10.
Michal, look under your chair.
Oh my god. All right. Well, Rome ended in 2007 and the series began development in 2007. So.
Oh, wow. Far back. Okay,
first and second drafts of the pilot script were submitted in August 2007 and June 2008. The pilot was ordered in November 2008, and then the writer's strike happened. And then they shot Winter is Coming in 2009. After a poor reception in a private viewing, HBO demanded an extensive reshoot. The rest is history. I remember when the script came out. The script was like leaked, and it was. I remember reading it like in a class in college, and I was like, I just like did a word search for Sansa.
That's amazing. Yeah, the writer's strike fucked up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about the writer's strike. So this is I have a different experience than some of you, obviously, because the show got me into the books after about 2 episodes. I just went and got the book and started reading through all of them, and that's what got me here. Obviously, with you guys and all of this, it's been years of this now with VOK, and so it's been kind of a very important experience in my life the last few years. So, I mean, how do you guys take it with the show ending now? I mean, we had last year off, so we've kind of just been existing without it. Yeah, like I don't know. Once the final episode airs, right now I feel like I still won't feel like I've ended this story because the story in the book is what I've attached to more, even though I do love the show a lot. So. I don't know how I'm going to feel other than the fact that like we don't have a show to talk about anymore, and that's we're no longer relevant to most people.
Yeah, our YouTube subscriptions will go down, and we'll all be sad.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to click that unsubscribe button right now. That bell, notification bell. Make sure it's turned off. That's right. Sometimes it looks like it's on, but it's off.
Yeah.
Make sure it's off.
Yeah, all I have to look forward to after Game of Thrones is like the birth of my first child this summer. So
all the only thing.
Oh man, you better make sure she doesn't go into labor early because that would just really mess things up.
Oh, I would disown the kid.
Certainly not during the finale.
Right? Be like, the lift's on the way. I'll be there in like 45 minutes.
Imagining Varley like messaging us in like the Skype thread. Well, I'm missing the fucking premiere or the fucking season finale for this fucking baby.
No, Varley's gonna be like, iPad. What are you talking about?
HBO Go.
Yeah, that's right. Go straight to the delivery room.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? How do you feel? How do you feel with the show ending?
It's sad. I mean, like, it's ending, and I feel, I hope that I don't think that the people that I know here are going to, like, suddenly fall off the face of the earth of, like, being a fan of Game of Thrones like a lot of the just show watchers will, but, it's not going to be, like, one of the most talked about things again, probably.
Yeah,
I guess maybe it depends on how the ending goes, maybe, about how long it's talked, right? Like Sopranos, sure. People still talk about that ending.
But I think there's kind of a double-edged sword here. It's like the show now will like suffice for VOK for the next 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then we go back to the reread, which we're almost done with it. And then after the reread, I don't think I'd want to be part of Game of Thrones until the next book comes out. Like, there's no more rereads I want to do, and no more,
right.
So that'll be kind of bittersweet as well.
We're iced out. We're no longer fired up at that point.
Oh, boo.
I am not at all worried about VOK. I don't think we're at risk.
Yeah,
we were here before. Oh no, we weren't here before, but
we weren't here before.
I was here before.
Yeah, I don't feel too strongly, about the show going into this final season. I don't know. Like, I feel like people are looking for, some sort of ending. I just don't know how seriously I can take, whatever ending they give us as to, how relatable it's going to be. Like, maybe in a general sense, but there's so many specific details.
Yes, see, that was going to be my next question. Like, do you guys really feel that this ending is going to be even close to what we are going to get eventually, hopefully, someday?
See, I don't think it is that much. I mean, maybe only in like the broadest of terms.
As in, it's an ending to the story.
Yeah, but like each individual character, they can do whatever they want with them without any consequences because it's the end. Like so they can kill as many people as they want, but that doesn't mean a thing as to whether or not they're going to survive in the books.
I mean, the one thing that I do worry about is, I feel like I talked about this on like the Serial podcast that we did like 3 years ago, where I brought up like this whole like trait of like need for closure. And, I feel like a lot of us are like staying on this train because we need that kind of closure. And that can be pretty powerful even just from the show. So I wonder how a lot of us will feel like, we will get some closure in 7 weeks from now. How are we going to feel about that, whether we feel good or bad, or want to continue in talking about Game of Thrones until the next book comes out or not?
Well, I think that's like with the Sopranos, the people, Weiner and the showrunners of that show was like, we don't need to give you an ending to the story. Like, this is just the ending. Like, we don't need to continue this until it's satisfactory to you guys. Like, this is the end. Like, what goes on after, whatever. And I think,
it's still going on in your head.
Yeah.
Right. And even, Dave and Dan, I don't think give a shit that much about, continuing the story past, their ending or, however they see it ending. I don't think that it's just going to be George's, writing pages about snow blowing over, corpses and stuff like that. I think, it wouldn't be the correct payoff to have so many seasons of television just to be like, people are the worst and they deserve to die.
Yeah, but that is
and I don't
something
think they want to pull Lost.
Well, nobody wants to pull Lost.
They're going to zoom out, and Bran is going to be sitting in like the pupil of a blue-eyed giant, and no one's,
That's right. But I think they actively like are trying to avoid. I think that like they're probably going to try and give satisfactory resolutions if they can. Even if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think they're more likely to like tie things up in neat little bows, like than to leave it more open ended. As which is how kind of I expect the book to be more open ended than what we're gonna get on the show. I feel like they're gonna try and give as many definitive answers as possible, for better or for worse.
So a lot of people think like the Iron Throne won't exist after this, but I think it still will, and that's the whole point. Is like they can come together and defeat this great, threat to themselves. But then after that, the Game of Thrones will continue, and nothing really changed, even though everyone had a kumbaya moment for a second.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
The thing is, who's going to fight against who, right? Because if Cersei is dead, which I'm pretty sure she's
I got my
both
fingers crossed for that right now.
Yeah. She's been kind of like the main antagonist, unless Sansa like really decides like, I am now starting a war against Daenerys Targaryen, which you never know, but.
Well, I think it would be kind of poetic for, Dany and Jon, the last of the Targaryens, to go out in this fight and then just end that kind of whole dynasty. And then maybe it's time
it
for...
would kind of suck.
It would suck, but the thing is, like, they're both such, like, larger-than-life heroes, which is, I think, why some people don't like them. Like, they're so typical, like, story characters. Heroes. Yeah. That I think...
Right.
Yeah, I think it might, like, they might actually be, like, too meta for the world.
They're making a super group,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you were here, you're here because you need to save the world, and then once you do that, like, cool, thanks, bye, thank you, next,
Yeah, but to say like if they don't die, they'll probably just like sneak off and ride off into the sunset.
Live in a crofter's village or something like that. You know,
Right? Yeah, just fly away. Go out.
Yeah, it ends up
Frodo.
that the Night King just wanted someone to rule them, so they're gonna go rule in the lands beyond winter, and everybody's good.
I thought you were gonna be like, you just need a hug.
Just
Like,
want
that's
to.
all.
There must
Um,
always be a son of Adam on the throne of Narnia, right?
Right, I was going to say it's gonna. The Night King is secretly Aslan.
Right.
I do think that like I've seen people write about this, and I wrote about this on Twitter, that like personally, and I'm not particularly a Dany fan. I actually don't really care one way or the other about Dany, but Dany dying as a sacrifice so that Jon can rule is like unacceptable to me. Like that, I don't care if they both die, I don't care if they both live, I don't care if Jon dies and Dany lives, but like I do not want Jon alone, like as Dany like the Nissa Nissa. I hate that.
I don't
idea.
think they can do that. I don't
Yeah.
think they can.
I really hope they don't do that.
And
especially with the way they brought him back on the show.
I see it more happening that Jon sacrifices himself because like Dany's pregnant or something, and
because I can just see like
Jon.
all the bros just like having a hard on for Jon at the end, being like, oh yeah, he's king. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what bros talk about.
No, bro.
Jesus.
Listen, bro. I want that guy dead so that he can get out of my way with Khaleesi. All right, bro. I feel like that's probably the least likely thing that for them to do. I hope, because there's just so many factors that to me wouldn't make sense.
And we have that on
he's been-
record just in case.
He's been trying to sacrifice himself though, like all the time, and it's not working out. Like, so it would be kind of weird if like, oh, this is the time he finally dies. I don't know. Like he's half died, or you thought he was dead like 5 times on the show already. So
yeah. So I was talking to my neighbor who's a big fan, and he thinks that the Targaryen line will live on through Tyrion because he thinks Tyrion's a secret Targ because all the Targaryens killed their mother in childbirth. I was like,
they don't have time for that.
I mean, Tyrion is a secret Targ, but I don't think he's a secret Targ on the show.
No, there's no time for that.
Exactly.
They already
his
got rid of his dragon.
Targaryen hair went away after season 1, so
Yeah.
He's too busy being kind of the worst smart person now. Whereas before he like played the game and just couldn't get ahead because his dad or someone would fuck him over for being a little person. Like last season, he was like, I have great ideas. And like at every turn, Jaime and Cersei are outsmarting him.
yeah.
And like, Dany's like, are you sure you don't need to die, bro? You're like, what is going on right now?
What do you think will happen with him? I mean, what good is he at Winterfell right now?
I don't know. Jaime's going to show up and be
idea.
like, so she lied to you. And he's going to be like, well, I quit. You need a new hand.
Yeah,
I-
and
done.
then Ben's going to be like, hey, dude, you pushed me out a window. What the fuck are you doing back here?
I actually don't. I have a weird feeling, and it's probably wrong, but I feel like Tyrion might switch sides.
God.
That look that he had in his eyes when he was listening to Dany and Jon get it on, and he hasn't been in a ton of promotional material. I don't
That's
know.
what made me nervous too. There's only been like one shot of him in every trailer, and it's him looking up, and it's like,
Oh. But they talk about they have both him and Varys really as like the people that could turn, and she could, go crazy on them, and that could be a plot where she, kills them because she thinks they're betraying her, but they actually did betray her. I don't know.
What the fuck is Varys gonna do when he gets back up there and it's like, hey, Lady Sansa, yeah, he's gonna have to do that same apology speech as like, I'm just like a little spider. I weave my webs. I have no protection. I have to look out for me.
Varys is not long for this world. I don't think.
Yeah. And I mean, the only thing that maybe I could see supports that Tyrion theory is that, like, the conversation he has with Cersei in the final episode, where she's like, "Well, he's like, kill me now," and she won't kill him and all that, and he's just sitting there, and it's a great scene for Peter Dinklage because he's sitting there talking about, he's like, I love the kids, like you can see the emotion coming from both of them. They kind of don't want to admit that they still have some sort of familial, caring, but. I don't know if Cersei would ever accept him back in any way. What does he do to betray them? Like, what is he's not going to go over and start helping her. She's just going to kill him or throw him in jail. So, I mean, what would he even do? Disagree with her too loudly?
Yeah, I don't know, because now you have like the Bran is everywhere kind of thing, and it's like, so what subterfuge can go on, you know?
Whatever.
Well, I mean,
whatever the plot needs. I mean, they can contrive that all
yeah.
day.
As long as there's a tree nearby.
I mean, like, I can see something happening where Tyrion goes over to Cersei's side. We get the culmination of the Valonqar theory, even though the whole Valonqar theory isn't in the show, by Jaime killing Cersei when they have their fight. And then I imagine Tyrion won't go out to fight the others, or will somehow survive. And maybe him and Sansa rule everything forever.
I
don't know if they're getting
wife.
that band back together. Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's one of my potential endings too, actually, because I think, I mean, it's hard because you can look at this from so many different vectors, and it's like, well, what values are the writers like putting forward, right? So like, if they're kind of like more, if the story's more important, then I think Tyrion will die. If they're more like, our bro Tyrion, man, you know, then I think that he'll end up marrying Sansa again, because, you know, he deserves some happiness, quote unquote, and she'll take it, I guess. So I definitely think that's a reasonable option. I'm like, I don't think for sure, but I think it's possible.
Doesn't Sansa deserve some happiness? I don't think being with Tyrion would make her happy.
Oh, I don't think they think so.
Right. That's what I think, is that it
or
might
that
make
would be
sense
happiness
in the
from
world,
their perspective.
but like David and Dan and the viewers and stuff, they wouldn't want to have Sansa end up with Tyrion. I think they feel like that's not right. But I mean, I don't know. They never really hated each other, so it could work. But I feel like Sansa stays like unmarried for a long time, given everything, and then hopefully, you know, finds happiness.
Well, she's Lady of Winterfell. She's more likely to get married than Arya. You know, the Starks have to continue.
Well, but I guess, yeah, I don't know, because the situation is really weird right now, because she's like Lady of Winterfell, but like Jon, they wanted to call him Stark, but he's not, but he's the king. So Winterfell's sort of his also. And then if she marries someone, typically in their world, they would just go off to wherever the guy was from. So I don't know.
Yeah, and then when Jon finally makes his way to Winterfell, Bran and Sam are going to be like, dude, bro, you totally banged your aunt, dude.
Yeah, that was a great moment where Bran's like, I know everything. He is Jon Sand. And Sam's like, convenient piece of information. So
he's actually Aegon.
Yeah.
Oh wait, and then like Professor X over there is just like, hold on, let me look. I didn't see that part. Oh, now I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, well, why didn't you scan that area, dude?
Yeah, he's just like skipping lines like through history. He's like, yeah, so all right. I think I got the gist of this. He's Jon Sand. Got it.
Right. Which, like,
Sorry,
it doesn't really matter.
I only read the Spark notes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter a ton if he's Jon Sand, right? Because you're just like, you're just telling your brother that you have different parents, but like everything else is kind of the same, really. But
yeah, the dumbest thing was the legal aspect of it.
Yeah.
Right. That for some reason Sam like totally understands what it means in the final scene there. But like when he finds it during the season, he's like, some guy named Rhaegar got his marriage set aside. Who is that? Are you kidding me, dude? Really? He should have been like, wait, holy shit, what time was this? Let me cross-reference the dates. Wait. Like, you know, he knows all about Robert's Rebellion and everything. He's not an idiot.
Yeah, also how no other Maester put it together.
Right.
I'm kind of curious, like, how, like, if Jon and Dany are gonna remain. I think, you know, at the end of all things, they will be emotionally together. But I wonder if they'll be fighting for like.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be like
middle.
Do you think it'll be like a road bump because they find out that like they're. Wait a second, we're related. Like, and that kind of like is like, this is kind of creepy, because she always expected to marry her brother.
Yeah, that's what I like. I feel like it would actually be really cheap if they had Dany freak out that he was her nephew. Dany is going to freak out, in my opinion, because he has a better claim than she does.
Right.
Oh yeah.
and that upends her entire life and worldview and reason for being.
But he would.
I'm sure they'll handle it very delicately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet he would, he'd be like, whoa, you're my aunt. This is weird as hell. And she'd be like, wait, you're supposed to be the real king. And he's gonna be like, baby, I already chose you. You're my queen. Don't worry about it. Like, and then that'll be the whole scene.
I don't think that's how it's going to go
You're a
down.
great writer, Adam.
See the whole scene. He's like, I can't get on a knee still because I'm like recovering. But
Yeah. Is that just Tyrion willing those words into him, like his last like glaring scene at them? It's like, come on, Jon, say the right thing.
yeah, I don't know. Tyrion's creeping out in the hallway. Also, sort of comes out of nowhere.
I think he finds that Jon's a distraction to Daenerys, and he's worried about that.
You think?
Yeah.
'Cause I feel
honestly,
like
I have no idea.
He's jumped on board with the whole like, okay, the undead army is real here. Like, we got to deal with this.
Yeah, but he's still
So-
thinking like they didn't take Cersei seriously, and I don't know.
Well, they don't need to be boning down right now, just in general, not necessarily like because he wants to, but that's maybe not a good thing to be happening.
Yeah,
I can
homie
see
hasn't
that.
gotten laid in like 2 seasons, man. It's a long time. It's a dry spell.
They got brothels in the north, right?
That's where Roz came from.
Oh.
Who? It's like Arya and Sansa. Like when they first met at Winterfell, and this whole last season, they just got along really well and killed Littlefinger. That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's not talk about the fake stuff in between. Y'all reckon we're gonna see a zombie Hodor at Winterfell's gates?
You shut your mouth.
Try to open the door?
No, I think he got ripped apart. I think hopefully we're not going to see him again.
I'm sure his enormous penis is trying to make it soft.
Use that as a battering ram.
Hodor. Did I read somewhere that Sean Bean was coming back?
He was on set, and they're like, he was visiting the set. I don't buy it. I think we'll see him.
Because I think we could easily have another flashback with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like, I mean, they could do the whole, like, oh, he's a white, but, like, he would be a skeleton, so I don't really... Yeah, I would like it as even if he was, like, John's imagining him or something.
Just something, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what they would do since we've already gotten the R plus L equals J thing.
Jon Snow.
Oh my god, I want to Photoshop of that. Da 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 da
Oh,
da
goodness.
da da.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring, back several characters just to like appear in dreams or whatever, whether it's Ned or Catelyn or Drogo,
Catelyn would be interesting because they forgot that she existed.
Yeah.
No. We all remember. We're
I mean,
fine with
I
it.
feel like Lady Catelyn hasn't been.
So do you think River Run's going to come back? I saw that Tobias Mendes' name was leaked to be in the season, but then haven't heard much. Edmure?
I know we don't have time for any of this.
No, so
There's
here's
no
the thing.
time for any of this.
I think we're gonna be. I think all the stuff we've seen, maybe with the exception of a couple of shots, have been from episodes 1 through 3, and then 3 is like the Battle of Winterfell, and that's where all the dangerous, crazy stuff goes down. And then after that, I think the end, like the big final battle, which might be a 3-way between Cersei's forces and the remainder of the Northern forces and the Night King forces who have won at Winterfell, presumably. I think that's going to happen at like the Trident, because the first thing they released was kind of like a big lion versus like ice versus fire thing, and it definitely seemed to converge at the point of the map where the Trident is. So I think that's where like the end game is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense for the books too, to have the final battle at the Trident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a new idea. I mean, definitely people have been thinking about that.
What
for a while.
Do you guys think that the Golden Company is going to be really Cersei's?
I mean,
Oh my
I'm
god,
sure.
I forgot about that.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, I assume she's the one like hiring them. I'm about to say I think what was it? We mentioned at the end of the last reread that they could just be used to wipe out the Greyjoy fleet, just because they stupidly made the Greyjoy fleet way too strong.
Oh my god, there's a Greyjoy fleet? What's
Yeah.
happening?
And that's what I'm saying, man. Like,
That's not even the Greyjoy fleet. That's the Greyjoy
that's
backup fleet that they built once the main fleet was
in like
stolen.
3 days.
Yeah.
No, I think
This
that's
is-
the Golden
This is
Company.
their B game.
Yeah, no, that's the Golden Company being ferried over by
Yeah,
the
Euron.
Greyjoys. But like,
in their big surprise, ooh, tricked you. I brought over 20,000 mercenaries.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder.
Ugh.
I just wonder about it because Melisandre went to Volantis. So, sorry,
Oh,
Colin.
did
Man,
she?
she is just hopping around.
Yeah.
Where the hell?
So I
is
think
she?
I think
She's
there's
in,
gonna be like a really
Silveros
cool
now.
like Deus Ex fucking Warriors of R'hllor scene, like throwing fire bombs and shit like that. It's gonna-
Deus Ex Melisandre. So
Yeah.
I wonder, like the Golden Company's never broken its contract, but like as soon as they see some
that
like
mentioned in the
half-dead
show?
thing crawling,
I don't think
I'm pretty sure they've mentioned it
Yeah.
a couple seasons ago now, but like, and then they mentioned it last season. I remember because I just watched
Yeah,
that.
really?
But it's like, why do you think that people that are like paid to work for you, regardless of their quality, are gonna stand up when you've got zombies munching on your gates? Like, I don't know.
Plus
They're just
a
gonna be like, "Can I
plus a
get across the
Targaryen,
water?"
Like, yeah,
Well,
plus
they
a
need a-
Targaryen.
They need a reason against all odds for Cersei to not
Whoa.
be completely
Yeah.
free. Yeah.
Haven't you heard? She only brought 2 dragons. Sign of weakness. Weakness. Something must have happened to one of those dragons. I'm telling you right now. Okay, but you didn't do it, Cersei. So
Also,
shut
what happened
up.
to your 3 children?
Or your
Touche.
loot train that ran through New Mexico. Like,
um,
my favorite thing about that is they call it the loot train battle, but all the loot had gotten to King's Landing before the battle even started. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that train was.
that was all food provisions for the winter.
Right, but
Yeah.
it wasn't the loot.
Right.
They're like, thank goodness the gold's already there. Like, okay.
Just because it's loot don't mean it's booty, baby.
Good one.
No, one thing I'm for sure is going to kill everyone in winter is like hunger, because they've just been spending several years and now even more recently just being like, burn these crops as we go so our enemies can't use it. And we're like, wait a second, there's X amount of food and X amount of people, and
well, they're
now
about
you
to
do not
be
have
X
anywhere near
minus
enough food.
A lot of people, though.
Yeah.
So
The
my
whites feed
Bring that
themselves.
so my one thing is like, how many dead people are going to be coming back this season? Because assuming that the battle happens at the Trident, then like, how many people who died in the North? How many of those, like maybe Stannis, might come back?
What? No, Stannis won't come back.
I was about to say it would be annoying. Like they
You're
already
right.
did- like I mean they already did that plot point.
Bye,
with God damn it, Adam. Like they already had that plot point in Hardhome with like the Val stand-in who got killed by the undead kids because she was unwilling to attack them. Like they can't like bring that plot point back 5 times over. Like it'd be so stupid.
Do you think Brienne will have to kill Zombie Pod?
Oh,
That might happen.
Oh,
So do we think this is going to happen in phases where like Winterfell gets overrun in the first few episodes or something, and then like the main battle is further south?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
I would say 2 phases, just because it seems to be the general consensus that the Battle of Winterfell is episode 3.
And
just 'cause
the North
it's-
is getting fucked, yeah.
right.
Which
Yeah,
apparently they were filming for like 6 years or something.
about as long as George has been writing is how long they were filming. Okay, so what other things? Oh, Bronn. Where the fuck is Bronn?
Oh, I don't
Who
want to talk
cares?
about Bronn.
Bronn
Do you think
finally got his castle.
Jaime or Tyrion?
If Bronn was smart, he would beg for a castle on an island.
He
Well,
would
last
already
we saw
be in,
Bronn,
like,
he was grabbing a
Volantis.
beer with Pod.
What about so what doesn't make sense to me is if they have the battle at Winterfell and we've seen how fast this zombie army moves and the zombie army wins, no one gets out of Winterfell. Like no one, right? Because they don't eat, they don't sleep. There's no, they're gonna make White Harbor like 5 minutes away.
They'll figure something out for that. They'll do some plot contrivance.
Zombie Arya?
The tunnels under Winterfell that lead straight to White Harbor.
Yeah, either there'll be some like secret tunnels or like Paladin will come like rowing up. Like I don't know, man.
But I mean, it's gonna be that like your principal characters are all gonna get out somehow. I mean, some people will die, but the main people that need to get out. But like all the Northern Lords, King and all this stuff is just gonna be done, right? Like I don't know.
I guess, but
that'd be sad.
I mean, like logically speaking, they should all have they should have some sort of backup plan to not turn into whites. They should have some proverbial cyanide.
Oh, immolation.
But, yeah, like if they I don't know, can they get all those bombs that the Children of the Forest were using and just people some people like carry that on them like but.
Hey man, I brought some wildfire. Pass it out. Hey, got some wildfire for you. Wildfire, last resort. Nice.
Yeah, I mean that would be the smart thing to do, but who knows if that'll come into play or not.
I kind of think Davos might die in wildfire.
Oh, Davos. He can't die.
No, but like in a sacrifice way. Like he has to.
Like, will he be like
red magic?
Shit at fighting, and then like the.
I'm about to say
I haven't thought about it quite that specifically, but
yeah, there is for sure going to be one person that like goes like wears like a suicide vest of wildfire for sure.
And I'm buying you time with this wall of fire.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
Leroy Jenkins
or Barrick or someone like that to just
We only need one person to do this. Why don't we do this like every few miles and save us a lot of time? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be some great lord. It could be some fucking peon. Send those guys out.
I would love to see a show like this one time where like the great moment of sacrifice has to come and you're looking at all the principal characters and someone you've never seen is like, I've got this. And you're just like, who the fuck is this guy? And he just goes out epically.
It's Lord.
You're like, what?
Red of House Shirt.
Yeah. This is my moment. You're like, I guess it is. We're out.
Didn't in like one of the Treehouse of Horrors or something, Ralph do that when he went off to face Goliath instead of Bart, who was playing David? He's like, oh well, looks like it's up for me, and then like, next you see is like Ralph's tombstone.
Maybe was that like a newer one? Because
no, that's an older one.
Like I don't know. There's a lot of the older ones I forgot, and anything in the past decade I have no clue.
Yeah, I didn't watch past season 10, so.
All right. So what about the Mountain and the Hound? People are hyping Clegane Bowl again. I've seen a lot of that. They say you know what's coming for you, brother. I mean, at the time, I remember when he said, that's not what's coming for you. Like I thought, well, that must mean he's going to do it, but it also wasn't really clearly that way. I think we had some debate on that. So, I mean, they're going to have their fight probably, maybe. What do we think?
I think so.
Yeah, probably just before. That's like the last person they need to defeat before Cersei dies. So that's probably what happens.
I don't know. Cersei also seems to have some sort of psychic connection with the Mountain because she tells him what to do with Jaime and with Tyrion in several different scenes without moving a muscle or saying anything. So he just knows to draw his sword or stop them or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Qyburn should probably make more of him.
Well, the thing is also in the books, we're all like, oh, Sansa could reunite with the Hound. However you feel about that connection, there is an established connection there that really kind of doesn't exist in the show. So it's sort of I'm a little curious what the Hound is there for
Arya.
other than Clegane Bowl. Yeah, Arya doesn't need him. She
emphatically she doesn't need him, but I think the reuniting with Arya thing is because him and Brienne share a moment where she's like, oh, Arya's alive in Winterfell. And she's like, well, who's taking care of her? And she's like, oh, she can take care of herself. And he kind of smiles like, yeah, it sounds about right. So, I mean, I think it would be one of those moments where, they could share a moment together, when they have a reunion. But he's kind of useless around fire, so I don't know how long he lasts. I guess long enough to fight his brother, plot armor there, but
maybe he'll get over his fear.
I would like to see a scene where he just is like, fuck the fire, like he froze up with the bear, and that costs Thoros his life, so maybe he's time to get over it. I don't know.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, did Thoros die? I forgot about that.
Yeah, he died like brutally.
Yeah. Oh, he was the guy that got eaten by the bear. All right, fair enough.
But he was the lone consequence of the white trip.
Right. Besides the
randos,
six red shirts.
I'll save you. No. Wait, was that guy with him the whole time? Who was he?
Yeah, there was a part where they edited it poorly. So like in like one scene they showed, like 13 guys walking, and the next scene they showed like 16 guys, whatever the numbers were.
Yeah. The thing that pissed me off about the polar bear was there's been no continuity on how to kill whites or polar bears. It's you can set them on fire and they seem to die, except the polar bear was set on fire and he didn't die. And then
the polar bear ended up getting killed with dragon glass. In the show they've just established that you kill whites with dragon glass too.
Well, they do fire, but it the fire, I mean, I guess maybe took a minute because he burned pretty good after he fell over. So I think maybe the fire wasn't quite spread far enough. Maybe
I don't think there's much to look into with the bear, because I remember watching an interview where they were like, "Oh my god, we finally have money to do an other bear." Ah.
Yeah, why didn't
bear's gonna be sick, bro?
Goddamn trip. Goddamn.
And if you look, like most of it is just the head, and then like the rest is the CG. Like there's some dude holding the head on a pole,
But that does make me think with Clegane Bowl, like, how, like, is what's his face, like, not mountain functioning? Like, what's gonna happen when the others come down? Is he gonna still function as Cersei's
that's what I wondered.
Or is he gonna be an other?
Is he gonna hear the call of the wild?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think we'll get an insight to what Qyburn thinks? Like, because he was like pretty fascinated by that fucking hand, man. He was like, "What is this magic?
I can use this."
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I don't know. One thing I'll say is the fucking dragons are too big. They're too big.
Oh, come on.
What do you mean, really?
They went between like a couple seasons there from being, like the size of a car or whatever, kind of like big enough where they're like, well, we got to have them so you can ride it. And now like it goes above the wall and they're rescuing like 30 people on the back of this dragon.
Did you see Bran?
That's like Balerion
between season 2 and 3. Same thing.
It's true. Once they released them from the chains, like they just like grew like gangbusters, man.
Yeah,
size doesn't matter, guys. They're just a little big.
That's what everyone with a small dragon will tell you, Casey.
It's just inconvenient when it's that big. Where do you put it?
So that's the type of plot contrivance I'm fine with.
Also, I mean, if you want to be really nerdy about it, I think George has said that dragons continue growing as long as they're not confined.
Yeah, they never stop growing. I know.
So they're very accurate on the show.
They should keep growing. I just think they've grown too much in what feels like a short period of time. That's all.
Fair.
That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, but other than
apparently it's wrong.
Yeah.
Other than Gilly's baby, it's been like 4 years. So.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Gilly.
Oh my god, talk about a simple-looking kid. Baby Sam does not look right.
Her and Sam though, man, are just like the Night's Watch is sort of like oaths, whatever. Ed's running things now, like, yeah.
Yeah, people are dying and coming back from the dead. None of this makes fucking sense. Sure.
He's like, I've got a wife and I'm a maester now. I only did like half the program, but it counts, right?
Yeah.
Learn the important stuff.
Oh, by the way, I'm also heir to my house because the queen that's here now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
My father and brother.
Yeah. I'm forsaking my Night's Watch vow, this precedent, and I'm taking over my home.
Just fake my own death.
I'm sure his mom would be happy to have him back.
Oh, we're gonna get to see Sam swing Heartsbane, huh? Or
Ooh,
something.
yeah.
We might see him
God.
try.
Right.
that'll make,
so he's
that'll make no
so
sense.
he stole that sword in season 6, right?
Yeah.
Nothing
Doesn't
ever
happen
comes of it. You don't
For
even
no
see it,
goddamn
and now
reason,
he's back
yeah.
up in the north with it. I hope they remember that he has it. They might have forgotten he has it.
I mean, they
No.
haven't. Well, they might not have forgotten that, but like, I mean, they haven't put a big thing on Valyrian swords at all. Like, I mean, there are 2.
No, I
Yeah.
thought didn't they said that John said that like the Valyrian steel will kill them, didn't he?
Right? Yeah, but like, there's been no mention of like trying to like collect all of it around, and it's not like
right, yeah, because there's
other
not enough of them, yeah.
yeah, it's not like
There was
other
more
swords
focus
are,
on the dragon glass.
yeah,
Because
ever
they could actually
mentioned on the
obtain
show.
that. I mean, John tried to fucking give Longclaw away. He's like,
Yeah,
"Sisora,
middle of the
this is,
trip, dumbass.
you know
Yeah.
this. You probably need this more than me." And he's like, "I'm cool, thank you."
Like, I bet that'll be a moment at some point if Jorah like actually comes back, but we don't really need it.
No, I mean, you need the one-on-one fight between Jon and the Great Other, like,
yeah, because like
or the Night
you
King.
got,
Excuse me.
Brienne has it, and Jaime, Arya's got her dagger,
Does Jamie have Widow's Wail?
doesn't he? Because Olenna says something like that was your son's sword or whatever, right? What did he call it?
Oh yeah, Widow's Wail. He was
Yeah.
a little cunt.
Yeah. So and he's headed north. So all the Valyrian blades will be up north, I guess, that we've really seen on the show. That makes sense.
One
Will we
thing
see an appearance of Dark Sister?
Dark. What?
Nope.
One thing I really liked about season 7 was like Jamie leaving King's Landing and the snow falling, and then like kind of like the realization that winter's coming.
Yeah.
I know. It only took him like 2 extra seasons to leave Cersei.
Yeah, I mean he was thinking about baseball.
Yeah, he like hard reversed and recommitted first. It's like, whoops. And they're just having sex. You can't let the maid see me. Why not? I'm the queen.
I like how she made all the maids get her same haircut.
That was pretty fun. So
yeah,
there's been
Cersei's
lot
a
of,
terrible queen.
Yeah. Hey, what do you guys figure Euron's actually gonna do?
Nothing.
I hope
Be
he
annoying.
Yeah. Like, do you think
Once the Golden Company
Theon
gets there,
will
he's done his
save-
job.
What's her name? Asha?
Yeah, they have to do the
Yara?
whole Yara plot line. Just such a waste of time.
I think maybe they'll be able to save the Dornish Indira.
No.
No, she's gone.
Aren't they already officially dead? Or I guess Cersei's like, they're just in her torture dungeon.
No, she wanted to keep her alive forever so she could watch her daughter decay, which is
they're not
really fucked up thing.
Yeah, they're not going to bring that back, like, unless they have them like rise from the dead or something. That would be a good one to have people rise from the dead and attack Cersei.
Indira Varma rises from the dead and kills a mountain.
Nice. And Sandor like runs in like, oh.
But no,
that would be great.
fine. So I think Sandor we probably won't get Clegane, like you guys were saying. I think he's going to do something like sacrifice. I think he might be the one that like walks into the fire.
I thought we were gonna get Clegane. I thought that was the conclusion we landed on.
I wasn't. I had to do something.
I think they'll probably run into each other at some point. I wonder. It'd probably be easier for us to say who we think's going to live versus who we think's going to die. Because we seem to think everyone's going to die between all of us.
Let's start with the Stark kids. How many Stark kids are we gonna have?
Well, is Bran a Stark kid or is he the three-eyed raven? I don't know.
Bran is dying.
Bran.
Brand's gonna become a tree.
Gone. Yeah, I feel like
Let's say,
Arya and Sansa need to live beyond that.
I was about to say I would say, and it's the same thing in the books too, where I just think Sansa's the most likely to survive. But given David and Dan's treatment of her, I'm not entirely positive of that.
I think if she's the last Stark standing, it would be kind of interesting considering that in the beginning of the show and the books, she's, they talk about the lone wolf, and she's probably the least equipped to survive, especially on her own. But she's been through so much; she's come through it. Like if she's the last Stark standing, that would kind of make sense.
Yeah, but that's the thing with Bran and Sansa, where they're not going to be like in the midst of all the crazy battles and shit. So it's just like they're
Yeah.
I don't know how they would die.
Bran still has to fly.
I think it'll be plenty dangerous. I actually think Bran's going to die during the Battle of Winterfell. I think.
That seems like
because you have to take away his No, but you have to find a way to get rid of his his magical ability to keep them ahead of everything just for the plot.
And he has 3 episodes to do the info dumping in. And then we've already seen him and the Night King be like, "All right, we're fighting."
And it could be a sort of thing where like Winterfell's about to go down, and instead of some sort of like fire or something, he's just like, "To me, my X-Men," and he's like, "I can hold them off like with my mind powers."
That's the main thing. Is that right? That would be the main thing. Is that if he's going to go out, I want to see him go out Professor X style.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that they actually hate Isaac Hempstead, right? Because
it's like that kid from The Walking Dead.
They like punched a hole in his character and drained it all out, and then we're just like, he wasn't in a couple of seasons. It was just like, they have not treated this kid very well.
Because they were like the only thing that made him likable, like still, was Mira Reed as a companion, and they were like, "Yeah, tell her to fuck off."
Oh that was. Oh, do you think we'll see the Reeds come back?
Nope.
I doubt it.
What about the direwolves?
You know what? I was so disappointed when we saw Nymeria and she didn't go with the Arya. So, Ghost has to be back, but I bet Ghost dies pretty quickly. Yeah, because dragons are more important. Fuck you.
Well, Ghost will die like Hedwig dies, and Hedwig is the end of Harry's childhood, and Ghost is the end of John's.
Ghost better kill like 1,000 whites or something, because Summer kind of was slacking.
We still have Nymeria.
Yeah, and her wolf pack. That'll be awesome.
Nymeria is bigger than all of them.
They could come in the final battle of Trident. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like a whole battle of Hogwarts where all of a sudden, everyone joins in. Like the Red Priests of R'hllor come in on one side, the wolves come in on the other.
The Eagles are coming.
The Ents are there. The Eagles are there.
Okay, so
all the Ravens.
Who else have we not seen in a while that could come back? Edmure, you guys think that he's going to join the Battle of the Trident?
He's going to be like, I guess we can make this castle the battle.
All the Freys are dead, right?
Yeah, he might be the Lord of the Twins at this point.
Right.
What about Robin?
Yeah, so the Lannisters were no. Remember the Lannisters were going up to deal with the twins. What's his name? Ed Sheeran was on his way to figure out what happened to the Freys. So maybe Lord Ed Sheeran will be holding the trident. Hey, baby, I see you back.
Listen, it started with a guy with a harp.
Are we going to see Hot Pie?
We better see Hot Pie.
I want to see Hot Pie.
I could imagine us seeing Hot Pie.
I want to have more baked goods.
He'll be quartermaster at Winterfell, just baking and shit. It'll be awesome.
Yeah,
he'll be chucking hot pies.
I've made it to look like a zombie.
He has dragon cookies.
Yeah.
Dragon Queen's my favorite. Don't burn me.
All the Dornish people are dead.
Literally all of them.
The whole Dornish army is sitting in Dorne with nothing to do.
Right.
It doesn't exist.
The boats never got there. Yeah. Remember? Because they got curb stomped by Euron for some reason. And
all 2 of those boats.
The problem is you still have a lot of people in Westeros that can mobilize, like army-wise. The Lannisters are using their men. They've wrecked a lot of shit. But down south, there's still people. But none of them know they need to. And, they would all just assume that it's a trick unless, they were already too late, I guess. I don't know.
I wonder if... Cersei could mobilize what's left and have them happen to come up there when...
Right, but
fighting.
She's not. Yeah. She can mobilize everything she has control over. But yeah, Dorne hasn't gotten involved in any fighting.
Yeah.
But they don't care about any of like
What
every
about-
single army they've like pulled up is
They're like,
all
look, by the
gone
time
to
the dead get down
Lannisters.
here, they'll just wilt in the sun. We're good.
Yeah.
Like, there's no mention of, for whatever reason, like the Reach army just, went out in a conversation. Like,
Yeah. Oh, we were never really good at fighting anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, what
Did
the
they
fuck?
fight well?
Everyone
Oh,
was,
no.
like trying to get your army. Okay,
Yeah,
guys,
right. We spent 3 seasons of negotiations of different people marrying each other for that. Yeah.
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 guys think
Dorne
about-
doesn't exist.
Now,
Hightower
I
doesn't
think the Reach
exist,
had lost a lot of people. They'd committed people
not
at
more
King's
than the
Landing for several
Lannisters.
seasons, right? No, I know that. But
The Lannisters just, breed people like out of thin air. Right, whatever. I don't need to go on a rant about that.
just throw gold at everyone.
Yeah.
What about across the Narrow Sea? Do you think we'll see Illyrio Mopatis again?
Like, I feel like we should, but
Who?
I doubt it. Just because, they only showed him in season 1, and then Varys ended up taking all of his stuff, for later seasons. So, yeah, it's just going to be...
Yeah, they didn't even really mention him when Tyrion went over, did they?
Yeah, they I think
No,
Varys
he was-
like, we're in my friend Illyrio's palace or something.
Oh, that's right. But Illyrio just wasn't there. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no, I think if the Golden Company ends up betraying Cersei, it'll be, done by Mel, and a combination of either Mel or Varys, will do it, so...
What do you guys think about seeing the Faceless Men again? Do you think we'll see that? Are they following Arya for, leaving them?
I mean, I heard a
No, that
horrifically
was-
bad theory that that Littlefinger is not dead and that it was a faceless man.
No.
paid, And I'm just like,
That's
I
a
can't-
terrible
He's the master
idea.
planner.
I can't be in the same room as this theory.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see like him at the premiere? Like, he doesn't even look like Littlefinger anymore.
No, he's on that History Channel thing about like Project Blue Book. What do you think about Dario leading a slave army from dragons?
Holy crap, Dario's still alive.
Oh my God,
Right.
And he does still have that army.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would
You know
be
what?
surprised
He's
if Dario
just
appeared.
ruling them, and everything's going great. They're gonna
I'm
stay
here,
out of
Danny.
this.
I'm here. And then he sees John. He's like, oh.
Son of a bitch.
Turns around.
Hey, I heard you need an army.
The
I brought you the army.
part though is that like new Dario kind of looks like John.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come with his hair dyed blue for differentiation.
A golden mustache.
It's me, Dario. I smell. Yeah, I think that there are so many characters and so many threads that they pulled and set aside and forgot they even had. That like we don't have time to see them, and they're not even on their radar.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah,
it would be interesting, The Iron Bank obviously is going to have something to do. I still thought it was weird that Cersei paid them off, so they're like, okay, we'll give we'll give you more money to buy the Golden Company, when she had, so insulted them, and they had clearly supported Stannis. All this, I don't know. I've always thought that maybe the Golden Company was like their way of getting some troops in and then just finishing her off, but that'd be too easy.
Yeah, I never liked his interactions with Cersei. They just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, their take on the Iron Bank was not good. Basically, because the members of the Iron Bank are infinitely smarter and better at things than Cersei.
And Mark Gaddis deserves so much better than what he got. But he's still awesome.
I think that part of the thing about the Iron Bank to me was that like when you fuck them over, like in order to get their they would spend more than their investment to get you back to make sure that people wouldn't fuck them over again. They wouldn't let you repay them and okay, you're in our good graces again. You know what I mean? Like if you made a point that you were going to fuck them over, like that was it. You were done.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done a lot of stuff that's really like weighing the scale in Cersei's favor to keep her around this long. It's like there are a lot of times where she could have exited the story more gracefully.
I mean, it was
And that's more to
the
do with
entirety of
that's more to do with
season
the
7.
actress than the narrative, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
they she's one of the principal people on the show, and they want to keep her as long as possible. I know we thought, at least I did, I thought, well, maybe, last season was going to be it for the Lannisters. There were a few points where we were like, well, they'll just finish this up.
That.
It would have made
Remember
sense.
when Jamie drowned?
Jamie fell into a waist-high river that ended up going down about 50 feet, and when he came up, he was a mile away. I don't know how he managed that, but Jamie is the most badass Kingsguard of all time.
I don't think he's badass. I think he's just buoyant.
Secret merman.
He's got some lungs, that's for sure.
Should we talk about the debated pregnancies?
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
That's a thing. Fuck.
There's more than one, and I know Matt gets this.
So
much.
if Cersei's pregnant or not doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter.
Like,
No,
even if
she's
it's
dead.
if it's true and she's using it to manipulate people, or if it's false and she's using it to manipulate people, it's all kind of the same to me.
I don't like the idea that like Cersei's faking her pregnancy, because she has a line to Qyburn that like seems very much like the two of them confirming this together before Jamie comes into the room, and to me that's like a dumb thing to do.
Right.
Okay, right. It's only going to be brought up in a last second thing if Jamie goes to kill her and she's like, "Wait, I'm pregnant."
Yeah.
But Jamie,
Which he knows.
Yeah, I guess one thing we've learned from this show, especially lately, or at least since they ran out of books, is that if they're showing us something, it's probably just what it is. They're probably just showing us what, you know what I mean? Like, they're not trying to trick us as much. Like, when they're trying to trick us, they're showing us something, then we're like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like, with the whole Arya and Sansa stuff, the whole time we're like, oh, this can't be real. No, it was real, apparently. And we don't know how it resolved, or they don't explain it. It doesn't make any sense. But, like, they just wanted us to think it was going to happen. That was the trick, is they were putting stuff out there that was totally real to make us think something. Okay,
how about
whatever,
this?
Who cares?
I got a theory about Cersei's pregnancy. You know how Qyburn keeps on asking for weird pieces of dead people? Like, he takes that head? Have you ever tried, like, planting an onion after cutting it in half and, like, you put it back in the ground and it sprouts back up and becomes an onion again? Do you think, like,
I don't like
Levi
where
did
this is
some
going.
kind of weird shit, like,
Oh
with
my God.
Cersei? Like, he just stuck some part of someone up in her and now she's pregnant?
No, donkey. Babies are like onions.
I mean, as far as I know, that's how babies are made.
Varley!
So once
Why?
little Varley comes out, we'll have this kind of conversation again. And
Yeah,
see-
let us know how
see.
that goes.
I mean, the real question is you're not going to put those horrible vaccines in your child, right, Varley?
It causes autism. Don't want my child to be simple.
Anyway, yeah, that's great. That's great. So they haven't released a ton of promotional stuff yet.
I wonder why.
Yeah, they have.
No, I mean, like, there's been a lot of pictures and articles and all that shit, but not a lot of footage. What was that clip that we just got earlier?
That was the one released last night,
Yeah,
which is a lot of the same footage, but a couple new things.
a couple new things, and supposedly it's all. To me, this feels like Endgame, where like Avengers Endgame, they've got like a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff they put out, and this little bit and this little bit, and I'm like, holy shit, this movie, like the first 20 minutes is gonna happen like an hour's worth of content or something.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah. So I feel like they're cramming a lot into these early episodes. And this happened last year too, didn't it? Where like they showed us a bunch of stuff for season 7, and most of it did end up being the first few episodes.
Yeah,
So-
and they did something very similar. They had that great Crypts of Winterfell kind of promo.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
That was very reminiscent of like all the faces in the House of the Undying, like, people that have been dead, that are going to die, that, might survive. And I think they were trying to do that same thing where it's like that they show the 3 Stark children and they obviously imply that,
Well, 2 Stark children.
well, yeah, sure, and Jon.
And a Targaryen.
And they obviously imply, like, that the others made it to the crypts and they're all going to die. And then there was another weird one where it showed Winterfell and it showed, Sansa's wolf clasp, Jaime's hand lying in the snow.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Bran's wheelchair at the bottom of the stairs. It was like complete desolation. I was like, okay, I think they like protest.
What's the picture with all the bodies of like everyone lying dead?
Oh, I hate that.
Oh yeah, it came out like right before that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dumb one.
That's their promo poster for the season, and it's like, really, guys? Like, we get it.
Posters. We can make. Yeah.
But yeah,
sure. So, do you think Aegon's gonna survive, guys? Because I just realized that that we've been calling him the wrong name.
Fuck that! I will never call that man Aegon.
Because in the book, there's no way he's fucking Aegon. Anyway.
No.
He's probably Jaehaerys.
Yeah, just make him Jaehaerys. Like that's the easiest thing to do. Just make him Jaehaerys.
No, he should have been. What's his fucking
Brandon Targaryen.
Whatever fake King Tywin tells after Joffrey dies, he's like, oh yeah, Otis the Great or whatever. It's like, who the fuck?
What? His name's Keith.
His name's Tom.
No, like Rhaegar was a book nerd, and like he's having a kid for the prophecy. He was like, "This is my son, Azor Ahai." What? It's not a Targaryen name. It is now. Yeah.
His name is like
Aegon.
Actually the prince that was promised. Like that whole phrase.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, the prince. So what happens when you have King the Prince? King the Prince. So yeah, that's just terrible. Is anyone on the show going to call him Aegon? That's a more important question.
There's
for Bran.
No way.
I hope not.
What did Bran see? Did he see that?
He saw the Tower of Joy, right, previously, and then when Sam is like, wait,
he didn't see all.
They were married. He sees the marriage part.
Yeah,
he does say like his name is Aegon Targaryen, not John. Blah blah.
It's pretty bright of Ned to change the name to John.
Yeah.
From Aegon.
Ned did a great job. Was just like, I'm gonna treat him like he's my kid and do what I would do if he was my bastard, and not tell my wife anything about it.
See, we're all thinking this wrong. We think that they would have like cherished the J part of the Jaehaerys, but no, they're cherishing the on part of Aegon.
Or maybe they're doing it both. Like it's some kind of bromance. Like
Jahagon.
Yeah, Jahagon. Just shorten it to John.
Once you were Aegon, now you will be gone.
Oh goodness.
Do we think we'll see Ed? I think you said that Tormund and what's his name survived, because I think we see him in the preview, but I don't know if we see Dolorous Ed. Like, what are the Brothers of the Castle Black gonna do?
They've got to be abandoning the castle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got to be rushing south to meet up with them, I would think. But it's like 20 dudes, so what does it matter?
Isn't Ghost still at Castle Black? Where the fuck is Ghost?
When was the last time we saw Ghost? Was it before John went south? Was Ghost there?
I think John went south from Dragonstone.
No. He went from Winterfell. I mean, like he went down to meet Daenerys the first time.
Yeah, I don't think he was there.
This is John. He's king of the North.
I just remember him when he was with Sam and Gilly, kind of, sort of, when they were getting it on. That's the last time I remember seeing him.
Hmm.
Was he at the Battle of the Bastards?
No,
you watched that one.
Wasn't. No, he wasn't.
No.
Should have. And they had a giant, but no, direwolf.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly don't. I don't think we saw him at all in season 7. I think that was a big thing where everyone was just like, "Where the fuck is Ghost?"
He's just going to be with the Night King. And you're going to be like, makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry, John. He showed me more affection in the past season than you have.
Right. I'm telling you, Dany made a coat of him, and everyone just kept it real hush.
That's where she got her new robe from.
That white.
He's gonna be super trimmed.
Speaking of new clothing, there's a scene in the promo where, like, all the Unsullied are in, like, their winter gear. How did that happen?
Man, Sansa's using her old, like, seamstress skills.
Yeah.
The Unsullied are also skilled seamstress.
Unsullied taught to bring their winter loincloth just in case.
They learn lance, spear, thimble, and thread.
Well, forget about the Unsullied. What about the Dothraki?
Oh, I didn't see any of them.
I'm gonna be honest. The solution to this problem
We
is
don't
really
need
simple.
jacket.
The
We don't
Riverlands
need
are
fingers.
full of unburied bodies, so I'm sure that there's plenty of clothes lying around the Riverlands.
Hmm.
But still, ick. Whoa.
It's a cat.
That was an animal.
No, that's just like little Snow over here, getting ready for bed.
Daddy.
Oh.
Aww.
Put him on. I want to tell him how babies are born.
No. No, don't listen.
First,
You want to say hi?
Rutabaga somewhere. Yeah.
Can you hear it? Say hi.
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 Yeah, you don't know what
In
to
the Game
say.
of Thrones.
You say goodnight because you're going to bed.
Good night.
Answer my question first.
Good night.
Who's going to win the Game of Thrones?
You.
Yep.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Taught him well.
Good night, little man.
Didn't know I was a contender, but that's all right.
Good answer.
It's as likely as anyone at this point.
So, just whoever walks into the room once everyone's dead.
What's Adam doing on the screen?
Well, long story short, no one was here, so
Oh, that's the Jamie excuse. Like the thing is though,
Nowhere else to sit.
with like I know the whole like nobody's gonna sit the Iron Throne, like whatever, that is an appealing thing, but it's appealing in the books because we have people who can rule the other kingdoms. Like
Right.
we don't really have that. I mean, I guess if Tyrion went to Casterly Rock and Sansa had the North, and then they remember that Robb and Aaron exists.
Oh, yeah, that little fucker. Do you think he'll bring the Knights of the Vale into the fight?
Sansa did that 2 seasons ago, I think.
Yeah, Sansa already has the Knights of the Vale with her.
yeah, she won the Battle of the Bastards, Arya.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sansa
I
has to
mean,
work on
there's
her
still
skills.
definitely there's people from vassal houses left in all of these regions that like would be in line, I guess. You know,
Do you
second
think
or
we'll see
third.
Lyanna Mormont giving orders to Jorah?
I hope we see her
Ooh.
behead Jorah.
Does she
Oh my
even know
God.
Jorah though? Like, how long ago did he leave? She's like what, like 10?
I don't give a shit. She'll be like, Uncle, go fuck yourself. You have to make up for all these birthday presents. Like, do this.
No, but I mean, like they're not gonna. She's not gonna have any sort of like connection of like, oh, it's my uncle who I love so dearly as a child. Like, she just doesn't know him. I think, right?
She just knows him as a traitor.
Yeah. Do you think
Yeah, but
she'll
she also-
execute him?
She's like, bring me
Yes.
Heartsbane, Sam.
I mean, she wouldn't like someone would have to tell her, like she wouldn't recognize him, like that's the thing. Like if he doesn't bring it up, like nothing.
Well,
will come
yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
He would introduce himself. I'm sure. You know.
So Jorah, do you think his grayscale will come back, and that will prove something that he has to do for something?
Careful,
there's
grayscale, man. Just to breed the shit out of it. It's cool.
No, there's no way.
Real easy.
They've
All these
closed off that
storylines
plot
I've
line.
forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when you get cured from grayscale, your skin is amazing afterwards. No scar. It's like
Yeah, I hear they're offering that treatment in LA now.
that's right. With the with the
South Korean
like
foreskins.
what do they call the blood mask they put on?
Matt, every time I think I know what you're gonna say. South Korean. Okay, skincare. Foreskins.
Yeah, they make a little puree out of South Koreans' foreskins. I think Gwyneth Paltrow puts it on her face.
Oh, nice.
Her
Is it-
and
aren't they making a Goop
Kate
movie for
Blanchett.
her for some reason?
what?
like Gwyneth Paltrow has Goop, which is her company that she sells like the vagina crystals and shit.
Yeah.
And she
All
got
sorts of
like
stuff
a
you're not supposed to
multi-million-dollar judgment against her and was told to stop selling shit because it does nothing, and she's claiming it does stuff. Basically, they're like, you're selling snake oil, you suck, and like someon gave her a movie deal for it.
Yeah, and she's like, look at the goddamn president. Like,
Welcome to political podcast.
You guys think Trump watches Game of Thrones? Okay, anyway.
I already said I made the Fire and Fury comment about North Korea.
I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to say one thing. I'm just going to say one thing. The wall came down, and he saw the importance of having a wall. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm sure some of the others are very good people.
I actually
that's
do
an old
want
one,
them
Matt.
like, I do want them to flesh out the story of the others. Like, I would like to, at least get something about that.
They'd argue that
this
that's already
is-
fleshed out.
It doesn't explain anything about who they are or what they're doing now or any of it. And the Night King is a cold-ass bastard who doesn't speak. Like, are we ever going to hear them talk? Like, is he going to talk to Bran, like, in their mind palace? Like, what is going to happen?
Like the pterodactyl sound, like, like I can't do it because my throat hurts. But like, if you like inhale really loudly and make it screechy, that's what sound they make.
I don't need a lot of exposition or anything. I just need something like, we have to eat you or we're going to die. Sorry. Something. I don't know.
I don't think
just like,
the last season is the time to start going into that, because then they have to be like, oh, Craster's
I know.
How many of those things are there? Like, what the fuck's the deal with that? Oops.
But I guess more of it's because George always said that, I don't like, the mindless, orcs, yada, yada, yada. And that's just what they are on the show, really. I mean, they were created, sure, but I mean, they're just like the giant army of evil that's out to rip people apart and eat them and kill everyone. And
do they even eat
why
them?
now? I don't know. You're right.
They just rip them to shreds.
I don't know if I've ever seen them eating people.
I don't think they require like food for sustenance. Yeah.
I also do wonder though, because they're they've been in the north forever, or far north, and so the cold preserves. Like once they get further south, I know winter is coming, but if they go far enough south, like the bodies just decompose and the army dies off. I mean, is that going to be?
No,
they bring the winter with them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right?
I think
or else they follow the cold.
No, but I think they threw that out when that dude walked through fire and like was unscathed before it was like throw them fire.
No, I mean I'm thinking more of the whites, not the others themselves. But
right.
Because like their army would waste away. I would think.
I don't know. Walking Dead's still on after like 12 years, and the zombies are still like fine. So
right, but time doesn't pass in that. Yeah, time doesn't pass in that show. But I mean, well, besides the skip they did, but yeah, either way, whatever. But yeah, no, it's just what I mean. Yeah, obviously, we all have our own. People have their own theories, about what they are in the books. It'd be nice just to see more about that. That'd be like the one thing that I would consider maybe factually relevant.
Yeah, and if they can't swim, isn't like Brienne's best idea to like go back to Tarth? Like that seems like a legit island with like a good food source, like self-sufficient, like. You find yourself a little island like that.
I mean, how many of the civilians could you get off to Essos, and would that be enough? I don't know.
Well, the problem is you can't take everyone because.
Well, but I mean, if they started now, they could get a lot of people out.
Well,
of
I
there,
mean, with all with the Ironborn fleet, they could certainly get a lot, but that's.
I mean, I don't think that we're gonna. Sorry.
Yeah, but then you get family separation in Volantis because they can't take all the incoming.
Goodness.
God damn it.
I'm going to need you to wait in Westeros.
No, they're just all that we're going to get on that is that they're going to evacuate people south, and that's all that they're going to deal with.
I mean, the one thing with the others, I don't think we're actually going to get much out of that because isn't the like supposed spin-off show going to be about like the others and the First Men and all that stuff?
Good point.
Off.
Oh, is it?
Damn it. That is
well, it's a long night. It's right before the long night.
They haven't. Yeah, they've been a little. I mean, I'm sure deliberately vague.
Yeah,
most of the people they're casting are either like African or blonde, though. So it's an interesting like.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying there's a lot of Lannisters, and people are angry that there are black people on the show. I am obviously
Wait,
not
what?
blonde now.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There was
Obviously.
a casting announcement a month or two ago, where there were like a significant number of like British or African American actors cast, and it was like,
We're going far enough
oh my
back in history. You
God.
could just make them
Yeah.
all centaurs or something. Like, who cares?
God.
Yeah.
maybe not do that, but
Right.
Right. But don't do that.
Maybe let them be human. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, it was quite something. You know.
Wow. I didn't
I'm
know
sure.
about that.
But,
They also
yeah,
have Naomi Watts.
Watts.
She's nothing to sneeze
Yeah.
at. So
Yeah, she's like the main like actress they've hired. Like,
there's
she seems
no
to be
way
the-
she's not playing a
Really?
Lannister, right? Like,
Right. Yeah, she's the only one I'd heard.
They should
I haven't
just-
really
they
heard a
should
lot
just-
about the show so far.
They should
so.
just make her land the clever.
I really want that.
That would actually be
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Yeah. But yeah, Casey,
Casterly Rock
you're
can be
right.
a
That's
rock.
a good point. That they might save that for other stuff, and that would be stupid and annoying. Classic Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
All right, we got the new
Okay.
Sopranos. You want to watch Young Tony? Huh? You want to see what happened when he was at summer camp at 15? All right.
Aren't they
What's
doing
coming
that?
next?
Yeah, they're doing that with Uncle Junior when he was young.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is HBO doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, they would be the ones.
You got to keep watching to get the whole story of the past, I guess.
Yeah, I never even watched the full. So, like,
Oh,
so
it's
many
good, man.
episodes.
You know,
I know.
it's a little dated because some of it like happens pre 9/11, and pre like smartphone technology.
Oh,
so
that's right.
it dates itself a little bit, but it's still solid. It's solid.
Well,
too.
it's like watching The Wire now. Like the first two seasons of The Wire, especially, are like some of the best television ever. And you're like, why are they using those payphones? And like, they'd never find payphones anywhere.
Why
now.
is everyone
Payphones don't
smoking
exist.
everywhere?
Yeah.
What animals smoke cigarettes in bars?
Yeah.
You got pagers and beepers, man. It's great.
Pages and payphones is dead. That's what Stringer said. So what else do we want to talk about? Anything else you guys want to cover? What else is coming up?
Do we have any like? I mean, we've sort of touched on this, but do we have any like definite deaths, definite survivals?
I can't. Other than I really think that like Pod and like some of the minor like likable characters will survive. I don't know with anyone else really. I feel like anyone could die.
I would really like for the characters that are like fan favorites to go out in a heroic or decent fashion and not like running away and hiding or something like that.
Theon's gonna die,
Right, for sure.
but he saves his sister.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
You don't think he saves her?
I don't.
Do you even think we'll see like? How much time are they going to waste like on Theon like rowing out to try to save his sister in the middle of the fucking ocean?
It's going to be one episode. It's going to be the first or the second episode, and he's going to have to mercy kill her because Euron has like tortured her to insanity.
No.
And I guarantee you that Yara is not going to be in the season.
No,
do you think Yara will be
and then Theon kills
situation
himself?
of Theon in the preview chapter or like Pyatt Pre in the preview chapters?
Maybe something of a combination. Basically, Aaron.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her.
Yeah,
talk
you're
to the prow.
right, Michal. Like, as soon as you said that out loud, like, yeah, you're right. That's probably what it's gonna be.
But it would be kind of sweet to have it like countered on like her rescue of him, where he was completely, subservient, and she just still has her wits about her and be like, kill me, like, or kill us, or something. I think they could play off that previous kind of.
I mean, I don't know. No matter what, she's still like
rescue.
a damsel in distress, and it's bad just because of that. Like, it's gonna be annoying just because
she's
of that.
not a character.
Well, I don't think she's. I don't think she's a damsel, really. Personally, I mean, she was captured and all that, but
Right,
like
the role she's going to be thrown into in this
Oh,
scenario.
yeah.
I know, but I mean, in that
all the
role,
dick
if it
jokes
was
she has to
if
listen
it was
to.
a man that was captured, they'd still need someone to come save them. Like, I don't think it really matters. Like, she's not in distress because she's a woman.
I mean, I hear you,
right, for
but
sure,
I think
but
that it has a lot to
optics of
do.
it's gonna be, yeah.
It has a lot to do also with that being Theon's kind of like motivation.
Right, because it's more for him than her. Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
annoys me.
Yeah,
Right,
I didn't like that.
Yeah, it turns her from a character to, a motivation for a male character. Like,
Oh, like nothing in Theon's storyline has happened like that.
You're right.
What if
Yeah.
we cut to like
Fair enough.
episode 2 and Theon shows up and she's already just like taking a shit for herself. Yeah.
Right.
That won't happen.
That's the only way you could save it is for, him to show up and her to have already rescued herself somehow. But like, they're not going to do that.
And then she can just kick Theon off the boat and fly away. And then,
because she has to in normal circumstances, I would say characters like Sansa, Brienne, Asha, or / Yara are safe, but I just don't trust David and Dan not to be dicks about it and just kill them.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I think Sansa's gonna die just because she's my favorite character. So I'm like, and I've been through enough pain, and I'm just like, I'm prepared. Yeah, Casey can attest to the degree to which I thought Sansa was gonna die in the finale of the last.
Yes.
I remember last year, like she's just they're gonna get rid of her. That it's just gonna happen. I was like,
yeah.
No.
So I do feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm looking at this more of like who might live as to more of like who D&D like and who they think the audience likes that they're going to want to keep around versus what I think will make sense narratively, which is not a good way to be looking at it.
Right.
But I just kind of feel like that's how it's coming down.
Which is why I think Tyrion's fine. Like, he's not going to betray anyone. He's going to be all right. Like, he's too much of a likable character for them just to like completely shit out at the end.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. The problem is, like, they've done both, right? Like, they've done, things that have been, like, genuinely cool for the story and, like, feel earned, even though they made up themselves, apparently. And then they've done things that it's just like, well, we can't possibly kill Bronn. No one will watch the show, Like,
right. But I feel like if they didn't go as dark Tyrion went, then if they do it at the last season, that is really a fuck you to fans. Because the whole point, hopefully, of George's, Tyrion getting so dark and just wanting to rape and kill his sister the entire, book is that there will be some kind of redemption or judgment.
Yeah, bring him back around, yeah.
And I think just to have him go a completely bad guy is just, I don't know. It would be a truly dick move.
I mean, I'd be okay with it.
God damn it.
I mean, it depends. I don't know. Dinklage is a good actor, and they haven't given him much to do in the past couple seasons. I feel like his mooning after Dany was the most acting he did for a while. So if they give him a really meaty thing, even if it's a betrayal, I don't know, I could be into it.
Tysha shows up and she supports Cersei.
Oh no.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Well, we've hit that part of the conversation. Do you think we're gonna see the first 2 episodes, hear word of the destruction of the wall and then destruction of Castle Black? Second episode, the destruction of Hardhome or Carhome or wherever the fuck it is, and then just kind of hear about stuff, or do you think we'll see a little bit of the battles of each one and or the aftermath, or just kind of hear about it and pass?
Yeah. I think at most we're gonna see them arriving, or we're gonna see an aftermath for that stuff because they gotta save money.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the first 2 episodes is just all gonna build up to the Battle of Winterfell. But yeah, they might show a little bit of the aftermath of the wall, but that's probably about it.
They'll just be really out of breath.
Yeah. Beric and Tormund just completely gassed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when the army shows up at Winterfell, they're gonna look to Gendry and they're gonna be like, "You can run the fastest. Get to King's Landing.
Our strongest runner. Go, Gendry, go.
But leave the hammer."
Get your boat.
Right. We didn't see like the 50-yard dash tryouts they had before
And
they
then like
hit the wall.
30 minutes later in the episode, you'll see him with King's Landing in the distance, looking tired, and then he'll stop for a second, and then he'll pick up the run again, and then you'll cut back to Winterfell, and it's just becoming night.
Yeah, motherfucker can run faster than he can row. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right,
That's going to be an interesting reunion, though. Arya and Gendry.
Yeah. I hope they do. Yeah, I hope they do more with the reunions than they did last season. Like, I was really looking forward to that last season, and then they kept like skimping on them, sending Jon off before like Arya and Bran get there. Like, it's infuriating.
I don't think they'll
skimp. Arya and Gendry will become a couple?
No. Well, literally, what do they have in common anymore? Like,
yeah,
they like banging shit.
Like literally.
Like literally.
Their hair's the same color.
Arya doesn't seem like a particularly sexual character to me, but that could just be my interpretation.
No, yeah.
Leave it up to David to fix that.
I think it'd be more likely that she would like take his face, because she seems to like gain powers when she takes the faces. So she might be like, I could use that.
I'm still not over that moment from the last season where Sansa found the bag of faces in her room, and we were supposed to be like, "Damn, Sansa! Like, what are you so upset about?" Get in your room.
Watching that again, like this past week, like I don't know, I definitely hope that's what they're going for, but it felt to me it's like oh my gosh, Arya's a psychopath. What the hell is going on? That's why at the time I'm like, this can't be real. This has to be like an act for Littlefinger. None of this makes sense. Holy crap! Like Arya is just like, yeah, those are my faces. I got lots of faces. Can I have your face? Your face would look good on me. You're like, whoa, like what? Put her in jail? Like, no, thank you, madam. Don't do that is uncalled for here.
Yeah, and also like a faceless man, like you hide your faces the same place you'd hide your dildo. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and your porn.
I thought as a faceless man you have to keep the faces on you at all times, so they don't.
Well, I think they're supposed to be like a part. Like, I mean, granted, we don't know for sure, but like my interpretation of it in the book is that they're a part of you now. Like you essentially absorb it into your body.
I assume that too. Like it's not an actual like mask.
Yeah. It's
Well, eventually,
they keep them as masks, but that's the whole point of the mask.
Eventually, they're able to do like the glamour or whatever, right? Like they don't need the masks.
No, I think they do. I think that's part of it. Like I think they just it's a one-time thing. They absorb the mask into them, and then they can pull it out whenever they wish.
Yeah,
it just sucks into their body.
Yeah, I mean that's like the whole description of using the blood magic, having the blood run down her face and having it envelop her, and then she has to get used to it, can't breathe for a second. Yeah. She also like inherits the old memories
and that's why
of the person.
That's why the faces are all on the wall.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I mean that's what they do with the
people
dead.
Can take the same faces.
Yeah, that's what they do with the dead bodies. Like they just take their face and store their.
So then her bag of faces is more of like trophies.
Well, no, I just think it's a show invention because they didn't understand exactly what was happening.
Because I mean, like
you definitely keep the Walder Frey face. I mean, regardless, you keep that.
Oh, that's a trophy. Yeah. You get the stuff, put it right above the mantle.
Yeah,
that should be a trophy.
Yeah, he deserved that.
Too bad Greg's not here.
I think we've gotten to that time of the night now.
But I also know that after we hang up, we'll all be like, "Oh, I forgot to talk about this."
Yeah,
as usual. But guess what? Good news. We've got Dragoncast is coming back.
Less than a week.
Krakencast and all these things are coming back. We are going to try to do the premiere episode Sunday night right after it airs, and then put that up. We'll see if that actually happens or not. But we'll be doing weekly Dragoncast, and hopefully we'll have lots to talk about. I assume we will, and hopefully lots of good. I'm just going to kind of try to roll with it. Everyone will be back. I think mostly everyone. Katie's around here somewhere. I know. She sounded excited the other day. So she was riffing on on lots of the horrible things that happened in season 7. So yeah. So I look forward to that, and I look forward to being relevant again for a few weeks.
Oh, buddy.
on the YouTube. I'm only speaking to the YouTubers. Make sure you unsubscribe and turn off that notification bell.
No, don't.
Someone did post the other day. They were like, "You guys could have a big channel if you wanted to." And
I saw that in the Fire and Blood thing.
Yeah, I mean, like several
but who
years
wants-
ago, if we wanted to do videos and stuff all the time, we could have done that. That's just not what we do so much.
But I don't.
Not because we're like better than that. It's just
I have
like,
a face for
this is what
radio.
we do.
No. Yeah.
We are a long form like podcast that uploads to fucking YouTube where people watch for like 10 minutes at a time. If a video is like 12 minutes, you're pushing it on your audience engagement, bro. So, the people that have stuck with us this long and are still listening to the reread and excited for Dragoncast to come back and excited when we put up the new bookcast and listen to the whole 5 hours of it or whatever, they're the real heroes.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's mostly just us, I think, doing that.
Right, yeah. That's like I
That's
like
what I
yeah,
always
no.
think
I
about
understand
it.
there
Yeah.
are definitely like listeners outside of us, but like I mean, yeah, that's how it always feels. Like really, it's just like,
Yeah.
we're
Also,
just doing this for
let's see.
ourselves.
What else do we have? Ice and FireCon is coming up in the month. That'll be great. We will have an episode of the show to do that week, and might be a little late getting that out because
Which
Ice
you,
and FireCon will be
Michal,
fun.
and Casey are going to? Matt,
Yeah,
are you
that-
going to that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, how many times do I have to complain about this?
Yeah, Michal is not because
Oh,
he has
just skip
obligations.
Passover.
Yeah, it's just
Passover.
Yeah.
I
I wanna-
heard that you're allowed to pass over it once. That's like the Jewish loophole, right?
Everyone gets one.
Yeah, Ice and FireCon's
Okay,
coming
thanks,
up.
Rabbi Adam.
Shalom. So the
This is not going well.
the Harry Potter reread. We'll have a new episode coming out. I think finishing up Prisoner of Azkaban, correct?
No, just the middle part of Prisoner of Azkaban.
The middle. We didn't even finish the book. I thought it was the. Okay. We'll get to Goblet of Fire someday. I promise.
Still here.
But I'm sure that'll be fun. I look forward to listening to it. And anybody else have anything else coming up?
Nope.
No?
I think there's
I don't-
another
I
reread
Game
coming
of
I think
out.
so.
Rereads.
Yeah, I mean, they just
Yeah.
they're doing it either this weekend or next. They did it this past
they're
weekend
doing one.
or next weekend. Yeah, James will get that out before the
We'll do
con.
something for Endgame, I'm sure, if we can figure out how to see it during
if we actually
Ice
get
FireCon.
people together this time.
Yeah,
Still have to see Captain Marvel,
I'll
guys.
I'll handle that one.
Matt,
And,
you gotta see Captain Marvel. Come on.
I know. That's why I just said I still have to see Captain Marvel, guys.
Oh, you still have to see Captain Marvel's
Oh.
good. I like Captain Marvel. So thanks everyone for being here for this. This is a lot of fun. I'm really excited for season 8, and hopefully we have fun. Hopefully they don't suck. So peace.
Hopefully we
Thanks,
don't
Adam.
suck.
Oh, we never see.
Oh, I always do,
Please.
you know.
We are amazing.
I mean,
I
Thanks,
have
Adam.
carried this show for 4 seasons. All right.
All right,
Good night,
guys.
guys.
Talk to
All right,
some
good
of you
night,
on
guys.
Sunday.
Bye.
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 Deuces.
You could buy the $400 recording hood that I found. That's portable.
The
Yeah, no
$400
thanks.
what?
Oh, here. I've kept the window open because I keep being like, maybe I'll get it, or maybe if I keep the window open, somebody will just see it and get it for me.
There you go. Where's our YouTube cash going? If
Yeah,
not to
right.
buy my column recording hood.
Well, I mean, we just had to renew the website and stuff, so plenty of money for that for the future, I guess.
Well, that is quite a little recording hood. How stupid.
It's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. It makes you sound professional.
I mean, I guess if like you're
I think drinking
at a
less bourbon while
hotel.
podcasting would make me sound more professional. I don't need a
If you're traveling a lot and you're doing calls and things from hotels and places, where it's private. But if you're like, well, I'm here at the park and I'm going to podcast. Hold on, let me get my tent.
Yeah.
No, but it's less for
Or the
podcasting than it is for like voice acting and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So people who do like remote voice acting and they don't want to have a room or whatever dedicated. Yeah, that makes sense.
It'd be difficult to stay in there for the length of the VOK.
The acoustics in here are great.
Masturbatorium.
There are some people who should probably have this, and then it would block out the cars and the birds and things that we get.
Hey, my birds are fine.
I didn't mention any names.
All right. I kind of gotta go. The game's starting.
What
The
game?
game? What game?
The national championship
For what?
Oh,
for college basketball.
basketball, March Madness. Yeah.
I don't follow college basketball anymore since UConn now sucks ass.
My
been a-
bracket is terrible.
Heck of a day, so I completely forgot. I've been hearing about brackets like all month from all the
Yeah.
doctors.
Everyone's
They're
busted.
Talking about how much they paid for their bracket. They're like, okay, I'm about even now. I got like $500 into this bracket, and I'm about broke even now. I'm like, what do you
Jesus.
guys do?
Oh my
Yeah, they
God.
like
Well,
they
that's
play
way
like
too
high
much.
stakes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're doctors. Is
I
what
think
they
the
do.
highest one I ever paid for was like $20.
Yeah, like I paid $10 a bracket, so like I sunk like $50 into it, and that's it.
Anyway, great
I
after
know
show
sports.
stuff.
Sports ball.
Excuse me. I almost went to the Mets game on Sunday.
It was
Except
alright.
like on Saturday, instead of going to see a movie, I have to go to a fucking birthing class all day.
Wow.
Not
So let's see.
Lamar.
Timestamp:
Oh
2
my
hours
God.
and 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I'll cut that out to send to your wife.
Yeah. Well, she won't listen.
Man, the little Varlet's gonna be so loved.
We have so much nerdy shit for her already. It's going to be great. And I've read what chapters have I read to her? The Jamie at River Run chapter, and she seemed
Oh,
to
the one where he threatens to throw a baby in a trebuchet?
exactly.
Interesting.
Perfect.
She picks up
perfect.
on irony. She also liked Dave Matthews Band, so I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty psyched for this kid.
Works. So one thing I will tell you, Matt, that maybe you probably already know, but one thing I learned with our son was that like you don't need to buy anything for the first 6 months of that kid, maybe a year, because people just give you way too much stuff. We had so much stuff that like we wore once because the kid
Yeah.
grows so quickly. You're like, crap.
Guys,
You're like,
best part is all my friends have recently, in the past like 3 years, given birth to girls. So
so you got like all the stuff
I
you
got
need.
all this shit coming in.
Nice.
So I'm like really looking at like these punk rock onesies that cost $25 and are really stupid to buy, but because we're gonna have so much other clothing, I'm like, yeah, she needs a Bouncing Souls onesie. Like this is something that I want to get her. Anyway,
Honestly, that should be like a company that just rents cute onesies so that you can take a picture in them.
They poop in
You
them.
turn
It could be like Rent a Swag, but for babies.
Yeah, rent the
Poop in them.
runway for babies.
they poop in them too much. They have blowouts right up the back, through the legs.
Oh, no.
All right, before we get too cute here, let's sign off, and I gotta get going and get to bed and try to figure out how
Gotta
to
watch the
fix
game.
my car. Gotta watch the game.